Okay, I think we're online. Hi everyone. Oh, shit. That's not right. Well, bad start. Okay, let's try that again. Hello YouTube, I am Datamancer. I'm here today to drive some Assetto Corsa. So this is my first time streaming. I have no idea what I'm doing, as far as streaming goes, or YouTube, or whatever. I have no idea if anybody's going to watch this, and I guess I don't care. I hope you do, but I'm sort of just doing this because it seems like a fun thing to do. Anyway, what I figure I'm going to do, well today what we're doing is driving this Formula car. Look, it's open-wheeled, it's got some sponsors on it. Might be made by a company that starts with a W-I-L-L-I in the 2009 spec. It's a mod car for Assetto Corsa, which is the game I'm playing right now. I don't think I can use some of the words that you would normally use to describe this car because of a company called the FIA, and what I've been told is a pretty iron grasp on copyright stuff, and I don't want to get copyright slapped, so I'm going to try to not. Today we're driving at Spielberg, also known as the Red Bull Ring, because completely happenstantially the next Formula 1 race, copyright FIA, please don't sue me, is happening not this coming weekend but next weekend. I'm pretty excited about it. I really enjoy driving Formula cars on Formula tracks. I like setting them up and driving them, so I figured I'd give you a tour of the track here a little bit and just sort of talk you through it. I'm not really sure where this channel is going, but for now, that will work. So, I've already got a setup on the car. Setup's pretty simple. I've already figured this out. I think in a future video I'll show you guys how I do setups, because it's kind of interesting, I suppose. It's one of my favorite parts. Slammed the gear ratio, because we never really even approach 191 miles per hour. That's right, boys and girls, I'm from America, so we are doing it Imperial style. That's super disorienting when I watch certain races, but so it goes. Slam the gear ratio, super soft tires, didn't have to mess with pressures. We do about 3 liters a lap, so I'm looking for 3 laps of driving time. This is hot lap mode. Didn't mess with any of this. I left the alignment because there's a lot of high-speed braking. We'll get to that when we start running. I didn't want to go more camber, or excuse me, more negative camber. Just wanted to keep things kind of stable. I increased the dampers on the front by 1 click because I found that the front tires would get cold as I was driving around, and I thought, you know, that's not ideal for one, and it also means I can put more on the tires. So dampers up 1, left the diff, it's fine. Left the brake bias, it's fine. Left the suspension, it might be fine. I might be able to stiffen it up. I'm not certain on that yet, but let's just start driving. Oh, this is taking too long, huh? Alright, I'm going to try to do this without spinning out on the launch, because I'm pretty bad at launching. But here we go. Alright, here we are on the front straight. The only thing to say about the front straight is I typically use curves all the way down the straight. Alright, 75 meters. We're going to brake down to about 3rd. Try not to hit that yellow speed bump. That thing's a problem. The straight's pretty normal. There's nothing really to be said here. Alright, here we go. At 100 meters, we're braking down to 1st gear. I'm doing this first lap very slow just to walk through it. Easy on the gas coming out of that corner because, my god, the car wants to do crazy things coming out of that corner. Brake at the yellow sign down to 2nd for this lovely hairpin. I took that way too tight, and I think that can be done in 3rd. I'm not certain of that yet. Brake at 50 down to 5th. I like to try to hook it onto that curb because it really does pull you around. Down to 4th for this one. Hook the curb again. Try to get up onto this curb. Once I get going at full speed, it flows a little better. Here we go. At 75, we're braking down to 4th. Stay with the tracks, the marks on the road, the rubber marks. Stay in 4th for this corner. Onto curves. And there we go. So let's do a lap at full speed here and try not to biff it. oversteer. I found out that's what the term fast and loose means. A little bit of oversteer is actually quick. It's just a little dangerous too. But only a little bit of oversteer. Tokyo Drift is a great movie, but I don't think it's terribly representative of reality. But then if you think Fast and Furious movies are representative of reality, that's a different problem. Alright, yellow sign, down to third. Let's try third. Why not? Let's experiment. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I feel like... And then I was waiting, and the car was at too low of an RPM. I'm gesturing at the monitor as if you guys can see that. That's right, no webcam. But, yeah, that doesn't feel right. But the second feels too short. It's kind of in between gears. Everyone loves an in-between gears corner, right? So now we're moving. Alright, 75 meters, down to fourth. Could I do it later? Probably. Do I have to go to fourth? I don't know. That corner, that whole... Jesus, and I lose it right at the end. That's a bummer. That whole corner complex is weird, and it took me a long time to kind of get... It took me a few laps to sort of get the feel for that. It's just tricky. Okay, now I'm just driving like an idiot. I've never done the whole talk while driving thing, talk through what I'm doing stuff. So, I've got a lot to learn. If I decide to keep streaming, which I think I probably will, at least for a little while, and see if anyone's interested. It's going to take me a while to get used to doing this stuff. This is totally not my forte. I should also mention that at the moment, I do not have a second monitor. Or rather, I do, but it's not hooked up. Which means I can't see YouTube chat. I have no chat moderators, so sexbots do your thing. I really don't have a lot of... I'm really not quite set up fully for streaming. I'm using a cheap headset for my microphone. If I start to get interest in the streams, which I'd be totally stoked about, honestly, I will upgrade my equipment post-haste, but I'm not going to buy stuff that I'm never going to use, so... Getting that second monitor hooked up, I think, has got to be priority one here. Alright, that was, well, better. Aside from the beginning, I guess. It was, okay, it wasn't very good. And I ran out of gas. Alright, let's have another go at that. I think I'm probably allowed to talk about the state of F1 right now. I hope I'm allowed to talk about that, because I really want to talk about F1. I think that's really what I want to do, so... So, a brief background. I started watching F1 at the beginning of last season. Me and a buddy of mine both started watching it together. We've both been into motorsport in some way, shape, or form for a while now, as far as fandom, not necessarily involvement. Although he did race circle track, and that's pretty dope. But I digress. We started watching F1 last year, which means I came in clear and untainted. I don't give a shit about the V10 argument, or the V8 argument, or the V6. We're at V6 now, right? I think V6 hybrids are cool. I think the V10s sound great. Like, everyone's always saying, oh, the V10s or the V6 hybrids sound like blah. And you go, okay. Well, if you want to go find a YouTube video of some V10s running, you're welcome to do that. But I think the V10 or the V6 hybrids, I mean, they're breaking all the lap records. If F1's about moving technology forward in performance, then the V6 hybrid is the pinnacle. I don't think there's any argument to that. I'd be surprised to hear anyone make a logical, clean argument to that. It's just that's where technology's headed, whether you like it or not. And I'm one to say, I don't know that I do like that, but for F1 it makes sense. So, that said, we watched it last year, the domination by Mercedes, which was impressive. It was just unbelievable. Turned me into a bit of a Lewis Hamilton fan, gotta say. As an American, of course, I was watching Haas F1. I can't believe they are still fighting brake problems a year and a half later. Romain Grosjean must be absolutely beside himself. Can you blame him? I mean, Jesus, it's like, how long does it take to fix a fly-by-wire brake system? He said, having never engineered a true performance automobile. But, you know, I also don't claim to. The numerous engineers in the Haas F1 garage do claim to, and yet here we are with Romain Grosjean still failing to stop for at least one corner during every race, and not finishing too terribly too many of them. And definitely not fast. Anyway, yeah, Haas F1, that's cool. Mercedes did fantastically last year. I was very excited to see, since Mercedes was so dominant, it actually became a little boring. I know a lot of people said that, but you occupy yourself with the other race going on. Honestly, the battle for 5th and 6th was probably more interesting than anything going. Wow, I did that in 3rd. That was terrible. The battle for 5th and 6th is the most interesting. I'd say this year, arguably, in a lot of ways, it's still the most interesting. Trying to figure out if Force India would figure their stuff out, or if, Williams would, or Renault. I mean, Renault actually had a shot at it last year, I think, although they're not doing great. And then, of course, Red Bull. That's where I was trying to get to. Max Verstappen, what a kid. Oh, my God. I mean, call him a kid seems rude. I'm not that much older than he is. It blows, and yet somehow I feel like I'm ancient in comparison, because look at where he's at, and I'm just a lowly software engineer from Seattle. But oh my God, I'm very excited to see his career. He's going to go places. I seriously hope and think he'll go places. Ran out of gas again. All right, I'll do one more stint. Yeah, so that was last year. Now we're on to this year, and this year has been amazing. This has been some really, truly exciting F1 racing. At least, it's exceeding my expectations. I don't know if Ferrari is better than Mercedes, or Mercedes is better than Ferrari. I don't know. It's really hard to call it. It seems like Mercedes still has the edge. I think that's fair to say. Though, given the chaos of the last couple of races, that might be a false flag. It's really hard to say. I mean, but you can't have Bottas go from last place to 2nd in a race and not say that Mercedes really has something going on, But that race has been amazing. Red Bull has been disappointing this year, and yet their engineer, or the car itself, has been a bit disappointing. But the drivers have been doing. Well, Ricciardo's been having a very good year, right? Verstappen's been having a terrible year, which, that's some exciting stuff, right? I mean, it's not happy exciting, but man, do we really think Verstappen's going to hang out at Red Bull for much longer? And if you look around the league, it's amazing how many seats are ostensibly available. You've got Ferrari, who've got 2. You've got Vettel. Okay, Vettel last race was insane. I am not a huge Sebastian Vettel fan. I think he's a great driver. I think he's a giant, colossal idiot. How do you crash into another car intentionally and not get black flagged? I'd expect to get, if I went to a go-kart track and right, if I intentionally collided with another go-kart right in front of a race marshal, let alone millions of fans, I'd get black flagged. Vettel gets a 10-second penalty and pulls, what, 4th? Did he get that race? 3rd or 4th? That, I can't fathom that, really. Bad driving. Talking while driving. That blows my mind. But okay, Vettel. He's a bit of a hothead. Who knows if he'll stay with Ferrari. It's really, I don't think that one's necessarily cut and dry. But good old Kimi. I like Kimi. He's fun. He's also getting up there in age. You've got to think that within, maybe at the end of this year, maybe within the next couple years, definitely within the next couple years, you've got to figure there's a seat open at Ferrari. Could Max Verstappen run for Ferrari? And if he did, my God, what could he do there? On the other hand, we have Valtteri Bottas, however you say it. Speaking of Finnish drivers, he's running at Mercedes. He's on a 1-year contract. They haven't renewed it with him yet. It's pretty early in the season. I don't think that actually means anything, and the way he talks about it, I think he agrees. But it's a 1-year contract. If they drop him, who will they pick up? Well, there's always poor old Alonso, who, I don't think Alonso's going to go back to Ferrari based on what I understand as far as history, though I don't really fully understand all of that. Or they could pick up Max Verstappen. Now, if you were running top flight racing teams, and you had an opportunity to pick up Max Verstappen for like some insane amount of time, 5 years. I don't know if you'd want to do it that long. I don't know how long F1 contracts usually are, but I mean, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you want to see where this kid's next 5 years end up? Because I think he has a very bright career ahead of in his future, and that's just where my head's at, honestly. Out of gas again. Well, okay. I'm probably going to do another one of these, maybe even at the same track, or maybe I'll go back and do... I'm not going to do Baku. The mod track is bad. It's embarrassingly bad, honestly. Sorry to whoever made it if you end up watching this. I'm not trying to talk S. I don't make tracks. I have no idea how hard it is. But it was not accurate. That's just all there is to say. I might go back and do Canada, Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, however you say it, in Montreal. That is an extremely fun track. The mod is very good, especially after watching iRacing, watching him do it on iRacing. But when we do that, maybe we'll talk more about the current F1 season, more current events. But this was fun. I hope if anyone watches this that you enjoy it. If you do, you can punch the like button if you want. If you don't want to, don't. Please don't feel inclined at all. Comment if you do like it, or if you don't like it, or if you think I'm a big idiot. If I say things like Lance Stroll is not the ultimate evil, you're welcome to comment and tell me I'm wrong. Anyway, thanks guys. Maybe I'll catch you some other time.